Grand Rising, everyone. It's your girl Naturally and my baby Idris. He just knocked out. I just fed him right now. Today we're going to be talking about my home birth story. I've been really excited to share this story with you guys, only because it was just such a huge, epic moment in my life for sure. It taught me of how strong, like, I really, really am, and that I have a really high pain tolerance for sure. So we're gonna actually get right into it, and I'm also gonna be answering some questions too that some people had for me. So I'll just do that as I go along through the video. My son Idris, he is gonna be 3 weeks tomorrow. I can't believe it's already been 3 weeks since I've given birth. It's crazy. But yeah, he'll be 3 weeks tomorrow. He's a healthy, happy baby. And so before I say anything, actually, I just want to make sure that every woman knows how strong and how capable you really are, as long as you really believe in yourself, because that's all you need is for you to believe in yourself, and for you to have that confidence and really know and understand how powerful your body is, and knowing that this is one of its purposes is to give birth, you know, without the whole having to do it in a hospital and all of that. Like, if you really take care of yourself beforehand, and you eat well, and then you also eat well and take care of yourself during your pregnancy, this is very, very possible. And like, I decided to go the route with no doula or no midwife, not because I have anything against it or anything like that. I just wanted to be very, very I wanted my experience to be as traditional as possible, because I knew it was something that I could do, and I really wanted it to be as intimate as possible. Like, I wanted my son to be around people that he knows, which was my mom and my sister, that ended up being there with me for my birth, which I'm very, very thankful for. And just knowing that, with this, there is going to be things that you will experience, which is a lot of people trying to instill their fears on you. I experienced that a lot. I blocked it out all the way. I'm somebody, like, once I have my mind set on something, I'm going to do it, and you're not going to ever persuade me out of it. It's just having that, very strong mindset, and really, really, really just believing in yourself. And I just wanted to make that very, very clear, is that with this comes a lot of people who are going to be against what it is that you're doing, and they're not going to believe that you can actually do it until you've actually done it. And just, yeah. So let's just get right into it. Um, so yeah. So when I went into labor, it honestly came out of nowhere. I had no idea. Like, I had no little signs beforehand, at least that I was aware of like letting me know that, hey, like, you're gonna be in labor soon. Like, yeah, I was getting closer to my due date. My due date was September 15th. I ended up giving birth on September 4th. But so that night before, it was like a regular day. I hung out with my little brothers and stuff. I ended up going to sleep early that night at like 9 o'clock. I don't know why. And then I woke up like at, like, I want to say like a little bit before 12 o'clock in the morning. And so this was like the middle of the night, and like, I still felt normal. Like, I got up, and like, I got something to drink. I think I got some like water or whatever. And next thing you know, I like laid back down, and then all of a sudden I started having these like little contractions. And like, at first I was just like, oh, it's probably like Braxton Hicks or something like that, like, because it was nothing like painful or anything like that. But I realized that they started to be really consistent, where it was just not going away. So around, like, I want to say close, probably like 2:30, almost 3 in the morning, I called my baby's dad. And there's a time difference, so he's in California right now, and I'm over here in the East Coast in Boston. And I was on the phone with him, and I was letting him know, I was like, hey, like, this feels a little bit strange. Like, I don't think this is like Braxton Hicks. Like, this feels a little bit more serious than that. And so he was like on the phone with me, and whatever. and they were starting to like pick up, you know, where it was like, okay, like I'm really feeling this. And so he started timing them, and they were literally super consistent. It was always 38 seconds, and then it was like 4 minutes of rest in between. So, and it was nonstop though. And so I was on the phone with him probably for like an hour and a half or whatever. And mind you, he was already set to come out here, to fly out here the next week, or whatever. And so he's just like, oh, like, you know, like, oh crap, like, you know, he's all the way out in California. And I was just saying, I was just like I really think I'm gonna go into labor like today. Like, there's no way. Like, the fact that these are really consistent and it's the same exact time and it's just not stopping, I was like, yeah, something's up. So I was like, I'm gonna call my mom or whatever. So I called my mom. At this point it was like 4:30 in the morning, and I was on the phone with her, and I was letting her know, I was like, hey mom, like I really think that this is about to go down. um, I was like, yeah, you need to get over here. And she was just like, okay. She was just like, asking me some questions, like making sure that it wasn't like a false labor or anything like that, because you know she had to go to work. It was a weekday as well, so she had to go to work that day. But obviously she didn't go to work because she came here with me. And you know, being a mom, she had her doubts. You know, she was very scared of the fact that I wanted to do a home birth. Um, and she wasn't really confident about it, like, you know, because it's new. It's new to a lot of people. A lot of people don't really know much about home births. And you know, everybody's just used to people having babies in the hospital. It's just what it is. It's just the time that we live in. People are just used to that, you know. But obviously, you know, there was a lot of information that I did give to her before we even, you know, came to this point. But she had even like texted me before she came, and she was like, oh, we're gonna have to go to the hospital, you know that, right? And I was like, I was really quick with the reply. I was like, just know that the hospital is not an option, like, at all. Because I was like telling her, I was like, first of all, too, like, right now, I'm like, yeah, I'm having these contractions, but it was just something that it was like pain. It was a pain, but it wasn't anything that I couldn't handle, you know? And so it was probably like roughly around, like, I want to say like 6:30, by the time my mom got here. And she got here with my older sister. And they ended up bringing everything here. Like, they brought my pool, and all of that, and just some like plastic and stuff too that I had to like not make a mess or anything like that. And they came over, and I was still going through my contractions, and like I was still very vocal conversating with them, and we were timing everything as well, and it just stayed consistent. It stayed at 38 seconds, and then it was the 4 minutes of rest period in between. And it was just crazy because when I would have my contractions, like, literally my stomach, like, you could see my baby maneuvering himself and like really trying to like it was like you could tell that he was trying to put his head where the birth canal was, like, to really stick there, because he was already in position, like he was head down or whatever, like, you know, a month before I even went into labor. But when I was having the contractions, like, you could see my stomach moving, like my whole womb area. Like, it was crazy wild. Like, I should have recorded that. I don't know why I didn't record that, but whatever. And like my mom, she was really helpful, because, you know, once she got here, she was like calm and stuff, because like my sister had told me like she cried and everything. She was like praying or whatever, because, you know, she didn't know what to expect. And, you know, I don't blame her for that at all. And so when she was here, though, she was like, you know, she saw that I wasn't like freaking out or anything like that, because me being a Gemini at that, I know I'm bringing in Zodiac to that, but me being a Gemini, I'm very intellectual by nature. Like, you know, my Mercury's in Gemini as well. And like, since I was young, like, I always knew that everything was mind over like matter. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of like whenever I would go through a contraction, like, I'd be like, okay, like, the contraction's coming, and I would try to like, it was like I was trying to transfer that pain into something else, where I could like mold it and control it. And if it's any way that I could explain how it felt, I would say it was like cramps, like menstrual cramps, but like to the next level, like for sure to the next level. But it was definitely very similar to menstrual cramps. And so whatever, so we're going through the contractions, time is going by, and I'm just getting really tired. Like I was just sleepy. Like I was just like, I wish I could just take a nap. Like, can I just take a short nap? Because technically I only slept like 2 hours before I went into labor. And so I was just like, so literally in between the rest periods for those 4 minutes, I was like sitting, because I was doing a lot. I was like on my knee, I was on all fours, like just moving around. I was sitting, I was squatting. My friend Jem, Mama Jem, shout out to Jem, she made this shirt too, birthed at home. She had given me advice too, letting me know that walking is really, really, really gonna help. So like my sister, she has a really huge kitchen. I wasn't gonna go outside. Like, nah, I was not gonna go outside. So my sister though, she has a really huge kitchen, and I was just doing laps, like walking through my contractions, literally. And when I say that was the biggest help ever too, is walking, like walking around as much as I could, like while I was having the contractions, like that really helped as well, because it also helped put him into position a lot quicker. Um, yeah, definitely a lot quicker. It helped put him into position and all of that. And so, definitely a loud birther. I felt like moaning things out and very like being vocal and using my vocal cords and like doing like a humming noise and all of that. That really really helped with going through the contractions. So as they came, I was very like vocal about it. And um, so time is going, and it hits probably like 10 o'clock. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a rest. Like I'm gonna just sit on my bed or whatever. So actually before that, I was like, let me take a hot shower, because I heard when you go in the shower, the hot water helps a lot, like when you have it on your back and all that. So I'm like, I'm gonna take a quick shower, that way I can come and like relax, sit on the bed as well as we keep going through these contractions, because I could still tolerate it. And at this point it was probably like 9, almost 10 o'clock. So I took a hot shower, and then like I put on like a easy flowy dress, so that way I was more comfortable. And I go and sit on my bed, okay? And next thing you know, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have a contraction. I'm gonna have a contraction, because for some reason I always had to like call it out that I was gonna have a contraction. And I'm sitting there, and after the contraction, tell me how me, my mom, and my sister were sitting in my room. I'm sitting in the bed, and next thing you know, you just hear a pop, and you see water just flow up, and literally my water bursted, like it just bursted up, like my whole dress flipped up and everything. It was freaking wild. And my mom was like, she's like, okay, she's like, yep, she's like, we're definitely having this baby today, like this baby is coming today, blah blah blah. And so obviously I get up right away, and we put like plastic down or whatever. And then next thing you know, I see that my mucus plug was coming out. I see the mucus coming out as well. Probably like literally like 10 minutes after my water broke. So I was like, yup, like it's definitely, things are really like starting to, get real. And things really did get real. Once my water broke, it was just like, okay, now these contractions are definitely a lot more, they're becoming a lot more painful. Um, but still, I could still handle it, but it was just like, it turned up a notch for sure. And so once my water broke, that's when my mom and my sister, they were like, okay, like let's um let's get this pool pumped up and everything, let's get it ready and all of that. And of course, of all days, all of a sudden we couldn't find the pump to my pool. So we're looking for it. We're looking for it. Like, we almost gave up. I was literally just like, you know what? I'm going to give birth right here on this bed. Like, I'm not even worried about it. Like, we're just going to give birth right here. I'm not going to stress the fact that we don't have the pump. Like, we're going to do this right here. And next thing you know, like, last minute, my mom found it. And they start filling up the pool or whatever. And mind you, things is going quick here. So it's probably like 10:30, 10:40, and my mom was like, okay, like, Natalie, like, are you gonna be able to get up and go to the pool or whatever? And I was like, hell yeah, like, of course. Like, after taking that shower and feeling how good it felt, so we're in the pool, and my mom's pouring hot water on me, because the hot water, it just felt so good on my body. And I just didn't want her to stop. I was just like, keep putting it on me, keep putting it on me, because at this point, the contractions were becoming a lot more challenging. But one thing I will say is that never at any point during my labor experience did I ever say to myself that I can't do this, or I can no longer take this, or this pain is too much for me to handle. Like, those thoughts never came into my mind. I was just trying to stay as positive as I could. I was just like, all this time has gone by. Like, I know I'm going to see my baby soon. Like, my baby is for sure going to be here soon. So I'm just like, keep pushing through it, like, no matter what. Like, if you have to yell, yell, like, you know. So that's exactly what I was doing. And my mom just put, and my sister just putting that hot water on me. It honestly helped so much. I can't even say that enough. That water was like a lifesaver. And so next thing you know, like, in the whole time, I try to stay as conscious as possible of everything that was going on, you know. And it was just like, at one point, it was like my body started to tell me, like, these specific contractions that started to kick in. It was like telling me, like, push, okay, like, it's time to push. So that's exactly what I started doing. I started to push during these specific contractions, and I started to feel him lower down. And that's when I began to tell my mom, I was like, okay, like, it's really getting real. Like, I could feel him coming down. And so next thing you know, my mom's like, okay, like, you know what, like, I'm just gonna get in the pool with you. So shout out to my mom, she's a real MVP. So she gets in the pool with me, and she's behind me, and next thing you know, I was like, okay, I was like, I really, really feel him coming down. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start pushing. Lo siente. I don't know si esos son los labios de ella o qué. Entonces ella lo trae. You feel it? You feel it? Oh yeah, la cabeza está ahí. Oh yeah. Yeah, la cabeza está ahí. So she's ya. Overflowing. And next thing you know, I started to get the contractions, so I started pushing with the contractions, and I could just feel his head. I started to feel his head, and then the contraction stopped, and then I was okay, when this contraction comes, like, we're really pushing, like, it's time, like, let's get to this, okay? And so I got another contraction, and I started pushing, and it's hilarious. I wish I had the video. Like, I'm so upset that the video got deleted, but literally, when his head was coming out, I yelled out, oh, I can feel the ring of fire. I was like, I can feel the ring of fire. And then my mom, like, gets behind me, and she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I can see his head. She's like, his head is coming out. His head is coming. And next thing you know, like, his head just came out all the way. And, like, mind you, like, my son's face was so calm. Like, my mom says this all the time. She was like, I'll never have that image out of my face, out of my head, seeing my baby and his face and how calm and relaxed he was. Like, it was just like, he was just okay, like, yeah, this is another day. Like, I already know what I was getting into. Like, you know, today was the day. And he was just calm, just like. And I wish I had the video. It was, so it was basically like he was sleeping. Like, he was literally, like, knocked out. His eyes were closed, and he was just chilling. And she was like, oh my God. And my mom was like, okay, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Like, his head is completely out. And I was like, don't touch him. I was like, don't pull him out or anything. I was like, I'm gonna fully push him out. I don't want anybody to pull him. And so she said, okay, like, I'm not gonna pull him. So I'm just gonna be right here to, like, catch him. And so next thing you know, I got another contraction, and I was like, okay, this is the one that's gonna really push him out. Okay, like we're almost done. And so all of a sudden the contraction comes. I did another push, and this one was like a really big push. And I just remember just, I'm gonna get very detailed. I just remember like when he was coming out, it just felt like rubber, like something trying to like push through like rubber, like something that was like really tight. And that freaking hurt, okay? That freaking hurt. But it was just like as soon as he pushed out, it was just like a relief, like as soon as he came out of me. And it was just so crazy because next thing you know, mind you, I'm backwards. Okay, so my baby came out of me this way, so I'm backwards. I can't even see him or anything. I didn't know what type gender my baby was gonna be or anything like that either. And so the first thing I hear, like once I feel that relief, the first thing I hear is my sister, and she was like, "Oh my God, it's a boy!" And I was just like, "Oh my God!" It was just like I was like in a euphoric moment, like once my baby was finally like actually born, and like I turned around and I like looked at him, like it was just I can't explain it. I honestly can't explain the feeling that I had. It was just very surreal. If Yeah, it was very surreal, and just holding him and stuff and just seeing him, cause like when he came out, his feet like hit the floor, I mean hit the bottom of the pool, and so he was like ah, and like he started crying, you know. So like right away I heard him, and like once they put him on top of me, of course like he stopped crying or whatever. And yeah, it was just a really beautiful moment. My mom and my sister were like, "Oh my God, like you really did it!" Like, and I was just like, in my head, I was like, "Oh my God, like I really fucking did this! Like I can't believe I really did this." But I could believe that I did it because I knew that I could do it. You know. I really had that confidence that I was going to be able to have a smooth delivery. And like one of the things that I'm super grateful for is that at no moment at all during my birth experience were there any scares. Were there any like reasons to think that I was gonna have to have like some type of intervention? Like when I say everything literally flowed, like it literally just flowed all the way up until I gave birth. Like everything went very smooth, and that's something that I'm very thankful of. I was able to, kind of change the the views that my sister and my mom had on home births. Like they were just like, wow, like that was a lot more normal than I thought. Like they were like, I thought it was gonna be like a dramatic situation and all of that, and they were like, it literally wasn't like that at all. Like my mom was like, yeah, like she was like, this morning I was just like super nervous and all of that before I came over, but she was like, but once I was here, she was just like, I was just super calm, like and like I didn't really feel scared or anything like that anymore. So I'm very grateful of the entire experience. I'm really grateful that my baby, he's super healthy. That's all I wanted. I had no doctor's appointments. For my baby during my pregnancy. I only had like one, and that was to just confirm my pregnancy when I first found out that I was pregnant. I got an ultrasound. It was just one ultrasound that I got, and that was to confirm that I was pregnant in my first month of pregnancy. But after that, like, I didn't have an actual doctor that I went to go see every month and stuff, because I knew that I could take care. I already knew how to take care of my body before I even got pregnant. I was very strict about how what I put into my body and how I treated my body. So I just did the same thing while I was pregnant. I took a lot of herbs that are really important and really beneficial to take during your pregnancy, and I just try to stay as healthy as possible. I try to stay as healthy as possible throughout my entire pregnancy. I went raw for a whole month during my pregnancy and things like that. So I hope that this story could, you know, change the perspectives that a lot of people do have, and just get rid of any fears that people have about home births, and just letting you know that, like, it's very normal. Like, people don't even know that home birthing is legal. Like, that's how crazy it is, and it's legal in all 50 states, you know. And I just want to say thank you to those that did believe in me. You know, the father of my child, he definitely believed in me. Before, like, you know, throughout the whole thing, like, he was super supportive from the beginning, when I first told him that I wanted to do a home birth and all of that, and that I didn't want to have a doula or a midwife or anything like that. I just wanted it to be very intimate. It was unfortunate that he wasn't able to be there for the birth experience, but he did get on the first flight and ended up getting to Massachusetts that night to meet his son. And yeah, and just people like Jem. I'm very grateful for you. You gave me a lot of great tips of what I could do for during birth. You were an inspiration from before that, you know, because she had two of her babies naturally as well, and at home with no doctor, doula, midwife, just her and her family, her friends, just having that support system. So I just think it's really important for us women. So, you know, I feel like these are the stories that we should surround ourselves with, and just instill more pride in one another, and just reminding ourselves how beautiful and how euphoric our bodies really are, and how, you know, how we can do anything that we set our minds to. I feel like that's the biggest thing at the end of the day, and something that I want to really get people to understand, is that whatever you set your mind to, you will achieve. You will achieve. You will do it. And regardless of what anybody else has to say, as long as you believe in yourself, that's all you need. That's literally all you need, is for you to believe in yourself. And so I just hope that um, you enjoyed this video. I'm going to actually be answering the questions that I got in a separate video, because I already feel like this video is super long. So I'll just be doing a second video to answer those questions. And if you still have any questions after this, just send me a DM. Whenever I get the chance, I will go ahead and message you back. But yeah, love and light always.